Hey, this is Mitch, and it's the week of Wednesday, November 1st, and you are listening to episode 4 of DuckTalks. On this episode, we discuss the impending DuckTales hiatus, the series premiere coming to home release, Jim Cummings on DuckTales, and the living mummies of Toth-Ra. Returning this week after a much-needed trip out to sea is my friend and yours, Pirate Steven.
Woohoo! Yeah, I'm back. You know me, as a pirate, I like to sail the seven seas, and I had an opportunity to go with my family on the wonderful Disney Magic cruise ship that left out of the port of New York and went to Canada. So it was much needed relaxation on the Atlantic Ocean, and I loved every minute of it. I'm glad to be back, though. I'm sad I missed that episode that you did with Josh, but glad to be back.
Yeah, well, we had a blast. We definitely missed you and wished we were out to sea, but we had a good time. We went a little long.
Yeah, it happens. The Disney cruise ships don't have much on DuckTales just yet, but I feel like it's something that it could definitely come. There's a Disney XD channel in the room. DuckTales isn't on it yet, but I could totally see that coming in the future because they have all the other Disney XD channels there. They also have a couple of nods to the nephews are in there. They have the Aqua Lab, which is kind of like a kid play area next to the kid pool.
Okay.
A lot of like water jets and have Donald on there, and mostly focused on the nephews and Donald on the cruise ship. But there's also a water slide on the top deck that's called the Aqua Dunk, where the nephews made this slide that dunks Donald in the water, which is kind of funny. But definitely there's ducks on this ship, so that was cool.
Now, was it the more classic look, or was it the updated look?
Everything's the classic look. Not to say they couldn't add that in the future, but right now it's classic.
Yeah, I've never been on one of those ships, so it sounds really cool.
Absolutely. Totally recommend it. It's like going to Disney World or Disney Resort, and you're sleeping in the resort, and you're completely immersed in this vacation where the food is just delicious, and all the entertainment's great. And then I mentioned the food is delicious, and you just eat and love every minute of it with Disney Entertainment, and they take really good care of you.
Yeah, we went to Walt Disney World just a couple of years ago, and the food is definitely a highlight of that trip. So I can't imagine being on a cruise with all that food available.
So what are the news items for this week?
Yeah, so, the first thing we want to talk about is a little bit of news for our podcast and something that we are working on for this weekend. You probably can speak a little more to this because you're a veteran at it, but new for me. We're going to participate this weekend in Extra Life's streaming for charity.
Absolutely. Me and you are big gamers, and this is a charity. It's called Extra Life, and their slogan is "Play games and heal kids." And it benefits the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals, and it's all done. Mostly people stream through Twitch for this, but it's a way for gamers to stream and marathon games, and the listeners and the viewers out there that love to watch games contribute their funds and donations for this worthy cause to help kids and heal kids while gamers stream and play games in this marathon. So we're going to be playing through the Disney Afternoon Collection, which is a collection of NES games that came out in the early 90s, featuring DuckTales, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, and Tailspin. and there's two sequel. There's a sequel to DuckTales and a sequel to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and they're all really classic games. And um, luckily, in May or late April, actually, Capcom released this series because Capcom was the original company that developed the original NES games,
Mm-hmm.
and they surprised everybody with this trailer in March, a month before the release of this game, that they were coming out with this retro release of a digital only game of this collection of the classics NES games that went around the Disney afternoon. So it's a great price. It's only $19.99 on for PS4 or Xbox, and I totally recommend it because it's a great value for the games. I remember I owned almost all these games from my original NES, and they were $40 each at that point.
Yeah, I owned DuckTales and I owned Rescue Rangers, and then I had a friend who had the other. I don't know that I've ever played the sequels to DuckTales or Rescue Rangers.
I remember playing Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever played DuckTales 2 or Tailspin, so those will be new to me when we play those. But I know those games, if you own the original cartridge, especially of DuckTales 2, it goes for it's very valuable and goes for a lot of money on the secondary market.
Yeah, and I purchased the collection just this week, and so I've been playing it a little bit, and the everything that they've built around the games is really neat as well, because there's these galleries and museum, and you can look at production stills and information from the when they made the game. So it's a really cool collection. Definitely recommend everyone pick it up. But we will be playing it this Saturday. Watch our Twitter feed for the time. Right now we're thinking 4:00 on Saturday, and we're going to go through all 6 games, and we're thinking it'll take about an hour each, so we're looking at a 6-hour marathon with a little bit of breaks in there here and there, right?
Oh, absolutely. NES games are not, I mean, they were developed a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to go back to playing an NES game after playing PlayStation 3 and 4 and all the new stuff. So it's a lot challenging. So we'll see how well we can do with these games. But the original DuckTales game is definitely in one of my top video game favorites from that I've ever played. It is such a classic game, and it is so much fun.
Yeah, even before getting this collection, I had the remastered version and still play it.
Yeah, it is definitely treasured by a lot of people, and the music in the midis, and the 80s retro,
right,
is so much fun to listen to. It's a great soundtrack, and that's also included on the on with these games.
Yeah, it's an awesome collection. So hopefully we'll see everybody. We did create a Twitch channel for DuckTalks, so you can go ahead and find that on Twitch and go ahead and subscribe. We will put it out there on Twitter once we go live on Saturday, and we'll be talking about it leading up to then.
Absolutely, and this is a great cause. I've been involved in being a fundraiser for 4 years, but being involved with Extra Life for 5 years, and it's a good way to give back, because everybody knows we can play games. We can play video games and get into it. And as we're playing the games, we'll give some history of what we know about the characters as we go through it. So it'll be educational and fun, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and there'll be a chat going on, so we'll be able to interact with people as well.
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So let's go to the next item on the news. So this was one that we've been seeing hints of this for a little while, and we wrote an article and put it on our site here this past week, and that was asking, whether we thought Jim Cummings was going to return as Darkwing. So we've known for a while that Darkwing Duck was going to show up on DuckTales, the reboot, at some point. And so really the only question left was who was going to voice him. We've actually even seen an image of the character redesigned, or at least one that the show was working with. But would Jim Cummings, who was the original voice actor for Darkwing, the only voice actor that I know of for Darkwing, he's also, he's done a lot of work. I think he has close to 400 credits to his name. And he's known for characters like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. He did Dr. Robotnik from the Sonic the Hedgehog series, I guess a show. And one of my favorites, he played Hondo Ohnaka from Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. And also, recently, Big Bad from Goldie and Bear. So he's been around for a while, and being the voice, we've not really speculated or wondered. We've kind of just assumed he would be the voice of Darkwing Duck, but we've been waiting on the news. And going back to way back in August, he actually shared a tweet saying that he had some cool things going on, some things that he was involved in that was completely hush-hush, be quiet, top secret. And of course, people were all over it, and all the Darkwing fans were asking, was it Darkwing? Of course, Jim did not respond. Then in September, Disney XD actually released a video on YouTube that included a bunch of different actors and actresses singing the DuckTales theme, and it would label, what show they were on. And one of the clips had Jim holding up a hashtag Darkwing Duck sign, and at the bottom of that, as that's going through, it says cast of DuckTales. So he's actually listed in this video as a cast member of the DuckTales show while holding Darkwing Duck sign. And then IMDb listed him as Darkwing Duck under the DuckTales show on their site. So short of getting an official announcement, it looks like Jim Cummings will be voicing Darkwing Duck.
That's great news. I absolutely love Jim Cummings. I think he is a Disney treasure. Definitely hope to see him become an official Disney legend one day in the Disney Legend ceremony.
Yes.
I had the opportunity of meeting him twice at different D23 expos. I was lucky enough to get his autograph on my Darkwing Duck Funko Pop at the last D23 expo, and just getting to talk with him, he is just brilliant at all the voices he does. He also does Winnie the Pooh and Tigger as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Hush announcement. I know he had to skip Comic-Con this year because he was scheduled at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
And he had to work on there's a Christopher Robin movie coming out.
Right.
I believe next year. I could be wrong. But yeah, he's doing the voice of obviously Winnie the Pooh in that one. He's not doing Tigger for some reason, but that's another big role for him coming up. He was also the voice of Ray the Bug from the Lightning Bug.
Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog. He did great. He had a great song in that one. And this is a Jim Cummings fact that not a lot of people know. And the question is, who if somebody asked the question of who sang "Be Prepared" in The Lion King, the answer, I mean, everybody says Jeremy Irons because he was the voice of Scar. But if you search around YouTube enough, you'll find out that it was actually Jim Cummings that did sang "Be Prepared," uncredited for singing it, but he sang "Be Prepared" in The Lion King, which is one of my favorite villain songs. So
yeah.
And then after The Lion King came out, he regularly did the voice of Scar and like Kingdom Hearts and other games. So little known fact, he was the one that sang Be Prepared because I believe Jeremy Irons' voice couldn't handle a lot of those notes.
Wow. So I wonder if he'll get a spot in the live action Lion King.
Yeah, they announced that today. I didn't see him. I saw Beyonce, but not him.
Yeah.
For that. But in another one, he does so many voices, but Negaduck, Darkwing's arch rival,
Right?
he does that voice. So who knows? That might be Negaduck, most likely be in this at some point.
Oh, one can hope.
Absolutely, and he does Pete from Goof Troop and various other things. But that's two Disney afternoon. And Don Carnage, he might be making appearances that because we saw that they have some pirates,
Air pirates, yeah.
air pirates. So
Yeah, that would be great.
definitely a lot of opportunity for him to get in there because I know he loved the Disney afternoon era of animation just like we do. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be all for it.
Yeah, and at San Diego when they revealed that image of Darkwing, everyone got a picture of Darkwing because of the stuff that came before. Apparently before they showed Darkwing, they cycled through a lot of images of a lot of characters, and many of those were Darkwing villains.
Yeah.
So those images aren't out there. It was too quick.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Glad to have him on the show, even though it's not official yet, but we're calling it. Jim Cummings is Darkwing Duck.
Sold.
Yeah. That leads me to something we wanted to start this week and something we hope to do every week moving forward. We want to feature a listener of the week. So we keep talking about how we enjoy having these conversations, and we enjoy when these conversations branch out from the podcast and take place on social media or in the comment sections of our site or on res.tv. And so we have a listener of the week who has been commenting, and we've been having some conversations about the podcast. And they go by Mega Elise. Hope I'm saying that right. And one of the comments that I copied for us to discuss tonight goes right along with this news. And so they are pretty sure that Jim Cummings is returning as the terror that flaps in the night. And they are excited to hear what we think of that leaked image, of that leaked concept art. They know it's not the greatest quality, but from what they can tell, it looks really cool, and they love the new rat catcher. They did ask, is it just me, or does he look noticeably younger here? It could just be the show's art style, but he looks slimmer and more spry, and less a middle-aged man on the verge of a midlife crisis. It's a bit hard to say more than that because the picture is so small. I can't wait to actually see it in action. What do you think about the image?
I think the image looks great. It definitely goes along with, if I closed my eyes when I first heard about DuckTales and Darkwing might be in it, it'd be very similar to what the image was shown. Mm-hmm. It looks completely like Darkwing Duck in this new DuckTales style.
Yeah, I love the styling, and one thing about Darkwing's look is he's got those distinct cheeks that stick out, and I love that they kept those. In the art that we saw, the hat and his cape are a lot darker than previous shows, but it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to make its first appearance. I still like that the show right now is focused around actual DuckTales and the characters, and I hope it stays like that for a while. I would love to. I just hope they have a Darkwing Duck episode, and It's so popular that they do a spin-off series. And I'd totally be fine with that being the only DuckTales episode with Darkwing in it if he had his own series. But I like that the show is focused around the main DuckTales characters for now.
He's going to have one. He's going to be in one episode this season, and then at some point in the future, they will bring him back for a storyline. But they are going to be focused on the DuckTales characters. It's just nice to have him, and the rat catcher.
As DuckTales the DuckTales Duck universe bench is deep, as they say. There's so many opportunities for cameos and characters, but when it all comes down to it, it's based on Scrooge and the nephews and Launchpad and company.
Like we said earlier, it's November 1st, and so today, issue 2 of DuckTales came out. So excited to see this issue out. We talked about it a little bit last week, and we kind of spoiled the cover, even though it was already out there. So we felt like we could talk about it. But we have 2 new stories in this week's issue, and it is Had a Chicken and A Viking at My Door. Now, the cover completely spoils it, like we said last week. So we've got Scrooge, Donald, and Della on the cover. So we are getting prequel stories for Clan McDuck. It's pretty exciting.
And we should note out there for people new to this comic is this is issue number 2, but it's the 3rd one. There was a issue number 0. So this is the 3rd issue in this series. And for collectors out there, we posted this on our Twitter site, but there are 3 covers. They usually do 3 covers for every issue so far, except for the first one. I had probably like 10. I feel like there's like 10 covers for that first one. But
I think so.
They have a cover A, a cover B, and then an incentive variant cover, which if you're not familiar with comics, is they offer for this particular one, for every 10 comics you order, they'll send you one with a special cover to the comic book stores, and they could sell that for more than the $3.99 or however much the comics cost when they come to the comic book dealer. So this variant series has, and I'm a big fan of it, has blueprints and character profiles. And the first one was Scrooge McDuck for issue 0. Issue number 1 was Donald Duck, and then I was guessing Della was going to be the 3rd one, but it ended up being Huey.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise, and I'm guessing that the next one will be Dewey and then Louie and so on. But it's pretty cool. If you bought those will look good in a frame. But that's just the collector in me thinking that I need everything. But I have part of my trip, we were in New York, and we went to Midtown Comics, which is a big comic book store. It's the best comic book store I've ever been to, actually. It's right on right by Times Square. It's really cool. And I let my kid buy whatever they want in there because I'm that kind of dad. And my son picked issue number 1 of DuckTales. So that was the first issue that we've delved into, and he loved it. He read it cover to cover a couple of times.
Nice. Well, they're enjoyable. I've enjoyed them with my daughters, and I love the format of the 2 separate stories. It really feels like those classic comics, those classic Duck comics, with a modern spin.
Very cool, very cool. And I'm obsessive with the comics. The ones that I've gotten, I have to have every cover. Obviously, we talked about this. There's so many different covers that it makes it almost impossible to afford. But I'm actually going to get the trade paperback that I believe is what's the release date on that one?
Well, that's debatable. We've actually been looking into this this week because it was listed as available this month on the 29th, and now it's starting to show up. What was that date? I've got it here.
December 19th is when I believe Amazon and Barnes & Noble has it listed.
Right. Comixology still has the digital for November 29th, but that could change too. You actually mentioned that issue 2 got pushed back, and issue 1 was pushed back as well. Both issues were. So maybe it's pushed back the release of that trade.
Yeah, I mean, December 19th sounds great to me. I already have it pre-ordered on Amazon. It's very affordable. How much is the price of the regular comic?
It's that a regular comic's $3.99.
$3.99, and this one was like trade paperback. The first one, what's called Treasure Trove. It's made up of issue numbers 0 through 2, so 3 comics, and Amazon currently has it for $7.50. So You get a lot of value there, and the trade paperbacks look great on the shelves. And December 19th, I can't think of anything better to put in your kid's stocking or your wife or husband's stocking than this treasure trove.
Yeah, we've been collecting the individual issues. Our local comic book shop doesn't order enough to get the incentive covers, so we get the regular covers. But we also have the trade on order as well.
Excellent, good decision.
Because it looks better on a shelf.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we've been talking about the comics and things coming out. Have you been looking into any more DuckTales merchandise?
Every month when I'm waiting for the Disney store to put something on their website. If you search for DuckTales on the website, like I do every first of the month, you'll see there's an ornament of the classic Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and a magic band, Walt Disney World magic band with Huey, Dewey, and Louie on it, and that's it. Surprised that with this series debuting in August, that it is November 1st and we still don't have any classic merchandise. Because I would love, with Christmas being next month, the holidays, it'd be great to get stuff from my kids and myself, and my wife, some DuckTales merchandise, whether it be shirts or clothes or toys or whatever. But so far, everything that we've seen, luckily, there's a lot of retro stuff coming out that Funko's making, which is excellent, regarding DuckTales and the Disney Afternoon characters. But it's all the classic stuff. We haven't seen any real new 2017 DuckTales merchandise besides the comic books and books that are coming out next year.
Yeah, we've been keeping a close watch on the books that are coming out, because that's really most of what we've seen, at least for the new series.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for merch, especially in toys. So hopefully Disney Store picks up on that soon. We'll let everybody know once everything that we see on there.
Yeah, well, we've got a list of things to talk about that are coming out.
Okay.
So the DuckTales premiere, the episode Woo, is coming to DVD. The only place that I found it listed was on Target's website. So Target has it listed for pre-order.
Oh, I see it on Target's website.
Yeah, so it does not have a date listed on the website, but it is listed for pre-order, and it is the full 44-minute premiere episode. I was a little disappointed. It is on DVD, so I'm thankful for that. Most animated shows, when they get a home release, it's DVD. I've been kind of spoiled by Star Wars Rebels getting a Blu-ray release, so I was hoping for Blu-ray, but I'll take the DVD for now.
Yeah. Definitely, and you know what? I wish that it was Blu-ray, but also if there was a digital copy of it, I think that adds a lot of value to these releases as well.
Well, it does, and that's an interesting point, because many of us already have a digital copy of it. When they premiered the episode and had it free on iTunes, when you clicked that link, you purchased it. It's yours. And same thing with Amazon Prime. My understanding is I own that episode on those two formats.
Do you know if it shows up in the new Disney movies or the Movies Anywhere app?
The Movies Anywhere app, though, I don't know that there's any shows on it. I think it's or television shows. I think it's all movies, so I don't think it will be on there.
Got it. Hopefully, when the version of Disney's version of Netflix comes out, it'd be cool to see DuckTales whole series on that, the classic and the new version. I think that would be something value added that if that was available, people would definitely watch.
Yeah, and the original the DVD releases of the original shows, they've never released all the episodes. There's still a number of episodes that haven't been released, but I think they are on the digital iTunes.
Okay.
That was something I was a little bummed about because I went and tracked down the DVDs and then found out later that there were more episodes available if I bought the digital.
Hmm.
Because I've been trying to decide, do I stick with physical media or do I go
Right.
digital?
Yeah. This Anywheres app is really great though,
It
so
is.
it's making me want to go digital. I just saw the that DuckTales is also on Best Buy. With the same, it's not the box art on either Target or Best Buy has the box art listed. It's the series poster, uh, but it's still $9.99, and it has the same basic information where it says it's the DVD of the pilot.
Yeah. Well, cool. Maybe we'll get a release date for that soon. I'm sure it'll come out before Christmas.
That would be total smart move if they did that.
Yeah. Another stocking stuffer. All right, so let's see. So looking at other releases, there is also titled Woo. The read-along storybook and CD comes out January 2nd. That's currently listed on Amazon.
And those are fun. We have a couple of the other Disney and Muppets story and CD. So I know that'll be good sellers. I could totally see them doing like golden books and things like that too.
Yeah, those have to be coming. They make golden books for everything, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, especially lately, it's kind of making a comeback. Like retro is cool again, comeback.
Yeah, I was at a Hobby Lobby and saw the entire Star Wars saga on Golden Book.
Oh wow!
Yeah. All right, so January 9th is the DuckTales Cinestory. Now, this is a comic book, but it's a comic book where they take stills from the episode and then put word bubbles to create a comic book from the premiere. So it's going to be the Woo episode, but that is currently, it's a good time to order it on Amazon because it's going to be $9.99 retail, and Amazon has it for $5.74 right now.
That's a great deal.
I've already pre-ordered it.
Another cool thing Amazon does for I know Black Friday's coming up, but around that time they do. Amazon usually does 25% off of any book item, so that's another thing to look for any of the books that we're going to be talking about today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so April 3rd has a couple of releases as well. There is Launchpad's Notepad, Jokes That Will Quack You Up, and there's no art for this, so there's no images to get an idea of what kind of book that it is, but it's going to be a joke book.
Okay, you're going to get that one?
April 3rd.
Do you have it pre-ordered already?
Oh, I have not. No. Actually, this one we just came across today, so.
I love Launchpad, so that should be pretty funny.
Yeah. And then this one, I'm excited about this one. DuckTales Doodles also comes out on April 3rd.
Yeah, those doodle books are really fun, and each page kind of gives a challenge for yourself or your kid's imagination to doodle a specific item. I know, like they make them for Star Wars and Marvel. So, to give you an example, they might for the Peter Parker, for the Spider-Man one, it might show a picture of Peter Parker taking a picture, and you have to draw what he's taking a picture of. So it's things like that establish the kid's imagination and challenges, and I'm definitely buying that book for my kids.
Oh yeah, we do. My oldest daughter loves to do drawing challenges where we all sit down and draw something. So that book will be perfect for us.
Yeah, very cool that they're making a DuckTales one.
Yeah, and that's listed for $12.99 on Amazon right now.
Yeah, that sounds like that'd be the retail price. So, and the cool thing that Amazon does, most of the people out there probably know, is they'll price match if the price goes down between now and release date, and you bought it for $12.99. Probably that book on Amazon will be $9.99 at some point, and that's the lowest price that you'll get you'll get whatever the lowest price was when the book is shipped.
We didn't look at the price for Launchpad's Notepad. It's $4.99.
Another good bargain.
Yeah, and you know what? The the premiere episode, he reached for a notepad, didn't he, when he was driving the limousine?
That could be it.
Yeah, he says, he goes, oh, that's profound. Let me write that down. So this could be a very fun book, kind of along the lines of I know the Gravity Falls show had a series of books, journals.
Oh yeah, yes, those journal books are excellent. I have. They actually made two of them. They had the wide release, and then they had a limited edition release of the journal.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they're anything of that quality and humor, these books would be great.
Well, that's going to get pre-ordered right now. All right, so final release that we've found is coming up in May, and that is the second trade for the comic, the DuckTales comic series, and this one will be titled Mysteries and Mallards, and it looks like it's going to pick up with the another, let's see, that's issues 3 through 5, so picking up with another issue that includes Scrooge, Donald, and Della.
Definitely another must-buy, and that one's also $9.99. And like this first one, it's a $7.50. It could drop between now and then. So if each comic costs $3.99, it's a deal. It's total. Everybody needs to get that.
Definitely check those out. If any of our listeners come across anything, I know a couple of these I came across on Twitter where other people were discussing them, and that led me to find them. So if you find anything, shoot it to us, mention us. Let us know about it, and we'll definitely point it out to other fans. We want to make sure that we all know about the merchandise, so we can support the show with our dollars. All right, well, that's it for news for this week. At this point in the show, we want to take a moment just to remind everyone that we are about to start discussing the most recent episode of DuckTales. So, if for whatever reason you've not seen The Living Mummies of Toth-Ra, you need to stop, go watch it, and then come back and press play. So what'd you think about this episode?
I loved it. This is the mummy from the opening sequence with the DuckTales theme song. So it's always great to see the story behind what is shown in the theme song.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very funny. Launchpad is back. It's another one of those adventure episodes that they have created. And Scrooge is in it, and I thought it was funny. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was definitely very adventurous too. And I like how the episode starts with a crashed plane in the desert near a pyramid.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we should expect to see when the show starts, right?
Yeah, that's what I would expect. This is my I believe this is my second favorite episode after the casino one.
I would agree with that. House of Lucky Gander is still my favorite episode. And this is probably a close second with The Great Dime Chase.
Yes.
So, and there is someone on Twitter, we shared it earlier today. They have a poll, an ongoing poll where they've been talking about, let me find it here. All right, so at Toon Afternoon has been running these polls every week where they drop off, they list 4 episodes for you to vote on, and they drop off the lowest, whoever had the lowest votes the week before, and they add the new episode. So, voted using our DuckTalks account, and currently House of Lucky Gander is winning with 40% of the votes, and then the other 3 are tied at 20%. So we've got Living Mummies of Toth-Ra, Infernal Internship, and Great Dime Chase still in it. So, sorry for the segue.
No, perfect.
So yeah, I think this was a great episode. It was a lot of fun. They come crawling out, and now I'm not a Gravity Falls. I've not seen all of Gravity Falls. I've only seen a handful of episodes. I enjoyed them. My kids did not, so it's not something that I've seen a lot. I know it's on Hulu now, all the seasons, so I'm planning on watching through it. But I did see that one of those hieroglyphics was one of the characters from Gravity Falls.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I missed that.
The
We're a
green
big
triangle.
time Oh, Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Oh, very nice.
And it's in that opening scene where they first crawl out of the sand.
I will definitely check that out. I'm gonna watch it after this episode.
Yeah, I'm a horrible
we're
friend.
big Gravity Falls freaks over here. I wish they would have those on DVD. Well, they have some episodes on DVD, but everybody wants a Blu-ray release that is in a box that looks like the journals. I think that would be incredible. But going back for my Gravity Falls tangent, I like it when they add these little hidden things from other shows in the DuckTales episodes.
Yeah, and you had asked me before if I had noticed any, and I didn't think of that one, but it hit me that in this opening scene that's there.
Oh, very cool.
So, very early on, everyone gets split up. But I before that happened, I thought it was interesting as they're walking through, and you've got the triplets and everybody, and Dewey's excited because he wants to see a mummy, and you have Huey who's interested in the history of everything. He's talking about, it's probably too expensive and there wouldn't be very many, and and then Louie's just interested in seeing the treasure, and so that just perfectly, describes all three characters.
And then there's Webby,
who's just excited about it all.
Yeah, she wants to be cursed.
Right.
And she's telling the guy that's not really how you do it. You need the high priest.
Yeah, and Louie's like, that was a great idea to get us out of that. And she goes, well, if I'm going to die that way, he's got to do it right.
Right.
So yeah, everybody gets split up, and you get the living mummies show up. Kind of spooky at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to one of them saying, hey, what's up? Honorable mention for the funniest line in the entire episode and maybe the series. And that's Launchpad saying, hey, if those are mummies, I'd hate to see daddies. Am I right?
Yeah, I laughed at that one.
That was great.
He cracks me up every episode.
He gets the best lines.
Him and Glomgold, I think, have the best lines.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come up with the burrito gags and how they had the way they save and trap the mummy is in a burrito was just hilarious.
Yeah,
and all the way up until the end, and they just took that joke and took it all the way to the end, where Scrooge McDuck is tasting the burrito and he's sniffing it first and then really enjoying it before he scarfs it all down.
Right.
I think that was great animation and writing in there to have him do that. Because the old classic Scrooge McDuck would just taking a bite and just politely giving it back and say, "Oh, this is good," but this one is like just diving into it.
Yeah, and everybody celebrates.
Yeah, everybody celebrates, and everybody. I felt like this was another fun Louis episode as well, delving into his character. Him and Webby had like side stories there, so
he definitely learned the lesson from the episode.
Yeah, he seems like somebody would learn a lot of lessons.
I like the one gag where one of the living mummies tells Huey he can't be the sharpest sickle in the lot, and he says, I've got a junior woodchuck merit badge in sickle sharpening that says otherwise. I love the writing of the show.
Yeah, spot on.
Then there's the bit with the laser beams and the scarab spies, and
oh yeah, that it's a fun episode. But what comes after this episode?
We don't
What's
know.
Next?
We've been hearing for a while that there would be a hiatus and that it would take place sometime in November and go through December and maybe get an episode sometime in December. I really thought we'd get another episode or two, but it looks, from everything that we've been able to find, I've searched online, I cannot find mention of the next episode.
We know they're coming. I would love to see a Christmas episode. I know Disney XD and the Disney Channel and all the Disney brands try to do a Christmas special or some kind of holiday winter related episode. So that'd be a nice treat to see that.
Yeah, and that's definitely coming because the Huey episode that was put on hold is Frank Angones, the co-producer of the show, has said that episode has been held because it has snow in it. So I think that's going to be your tie-in to December.
There you go.
That's say perfect. It's probably the next episode we get.
I would not complain about that. That's great.
Yeah, I've been waiting on that episode. So, yeah, no, it was a great episode. It was a lot of fun. I really like the action scene there at the end when Scrooge jumps on the mummy and everybody kind of takes their place trying to do their part. And we get the amazing thriller scene with Dewey and the living mummies.
That was a funny joke. And the GIF is just as hilarious.
Yep.
That people posted. So, again, brilliant writing.
Yeah. So, anything else about this episode you want to talk about?
No, I kind of want to go to rewatch it right now so I can see that Bill Cipher triangle. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. And again, check us out this weekend. We will be live for 6 hours on Saturday. Watch our Twitter account to find out the exact time. But right now we're shooting for 4:00 on Saturday afternoon. So we appreciate you joining us tonight, and we hope you join in on the conversation. You can do that either on our website. You can do that at res.tv. You can also do that on Twitter. We have our DuckTalks account, and I can be found on Twitter as Infinirama616, and Pirate can be found at
the Pirate Steven. And we're going to be this Twitch stream should be archived. So if you miss it for the 6 hours stream and you want to watch it, you can always rewatch it at some other point. And this could be a series. We could be streaming more Extra Life marathons or individual episodes from the games all throughout November, December if we need to.
Yeah.
This charity it accepts donations all the way through December 31st. So
okay,
people can donate as much as they can at any time. And we'll send that link out and advertise that more once this weekend comes up with the first event. But we'll put that link out there for anybody that's interested in donating to the cause.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone listening, and we look forward to interacting with you on Saturday for a great cause.
All right, see y'all next time.
All right, see you later.